What's good, y'all? Michael here today for another video. Listen, the Panthers need to get rid of Bridgewater ASAP because, I'm not a Bears fan. No, I am a Bears fan. So that's my whole thing is I meant to say I'm not a Panthers fan. I'm just a Bears fan. Then I'm not really a Panthers fan. I'm just going to say this out loud and clear. Bridgewater needs to go because he legit is losing the Panthers games. And why do I say that? Well, if you watched yesterday, you would kind of say he wasn't a very good quarterback. Okay. Like, how do I say this? So the Panthers run game is working. The Packers run defense is making Mike Davis look like Barry Sanders for a drive. They're at the 1 yard line. And what does Bridgewater do? He tries to jump it in, like his other quarterback in New Orleans, Drew Brees. And I'm like, bro, it's not gonna work. It's Aaron Rodgers on the other side. I'm not fumbling the ball and giving him a chance to score. I mean, that's my whole thing is I don't want to hear a negative thing about Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule is going to be a decent head coach in the NFL. And plus, he's going to make these rookie mistakes. Okay. I'm going to give him. Here's the thing with Matt Rule, I feel like he did a good job yesterday. But here's the thing with Bridgewater, last drive before halftime, before they give Rodgers the ball back with plenty of time, but luckily the Carolina Panthers defense finally did something and made Rodgers' life a living hell in the second half. So I'm looking at it this way. So okay, we have the ball back. The best thing you would want to do is give Rodgers less time to make a drop to score. So hypothetically speaking, I try to run the clock down as possible to give him less time to make a play. So, and I'm just asking myself, why are you throwing? Like, that's Aaron Rodgers on the other side. I'm not giving him the ball back with that much time. Even though the defense did something, I still kind of question it because at the end of the day, folks, if you're facing against Aaron Rodgers and he continues to score, you're done. You're not. This would have been a blowout game if it wasn't for that defense. All right. Now let me get to the questionable call that everybody's talking about. Why did Matt Rule decide to kick a field goal instead of trying to take deep shots? I understand why Matt Rule decided to kick a field goal because hypothetically speaking, okay, so this is what Matt Rule was thinking. Okay, we kicked the field goal. We technically have 2 timeouts because we have the 2-minute warning. If we stop Green Bay for 2 drives and leave and only allow them to run the clock down on the 3rd down, so I kind of understood why he kicked the field goal instead of just trying to take deep shots and onside kick. I understand because you're down 8 and you decide to kick a field goal and you pretty much give yourself your defense a time to stop Rodgers. So even with that questionable call, I understood why Matt Rule decided to kick a field goal instead of trying to take more shots down the field. So now I got that out of the way with the Panthers. Let me get to Green Bay because I haven't done it in a while. All right, Green Bay. Even though you're close to becoming the number 1 seed in the playoffs, even though you are, I don't think you can be good in the playoffs because here's the thing, Green Bay. I've seen many times you do good in the regular season with Rodgers, and then you choke in the playoffs. So until I see you play like that in the playoffs, there nothing could be said. So anyway, now that I got that out of the way of Green Bay, but let me tell you something about the MVP race because the MVP race is tricky for you. Okay, you have to pray Mahomes loses like 2 more games, maybe 4, because depending on your next opponent, because you are facing Derrick Henry. So that's my whole thing is the MVP race is very tricky, folks. They're going to give it to Mahomes or they're going to give it to Ben Roethlisberger. So that's my whole thing is the MVP race is kind of tricky. So don't be surprised if it's not Aaron Rodgers because even though Rodgers is playing an MVP level, it's still like the NFL will play favors because they're starting to do that with Patrick Mahomes now. But here's the other thing. Now I got the MVP race out of the way. All I have to say is to Packers fans, okay, you're playing real good in the regular season, but can you do it in the playoffs? Because I've seen many times Aaron Rodgers play good in the regular season and then he loses embarrassingly in the playoffs. Like there's many teams I could see the Packers struggling against. Like let's say hypothetically speaking they don't get the first seed. Whoever that 7 opponent is should be easy, could be the Cardinals, could be the Bears, could be the Vikings. So then you have the Rams who you have to travel to Los Angeles. No, you don't have to travel. They have to travel to you guys. So even if you do know the Rams defense is elite and Sean McVay covers up Jared Goff's inconsistencies. So you have the Rams whose defense is legit. The Giants and the football team's defense looks elite now. Then you have the Seahawks who have a high power. I can see you guys possibly shooting out with Seattle because Seattle's defense is pure shit. So, pure shit. But I don't think you can beat Tampa Bay either because remember the last time you faced Tampa Bay, you had a 10-point lead and you got blown out against them. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're doing good now, but all I have to say is, can you do it in the playoffs? Because I've seen many times Rodgers loses embarrassingly in the playoffs. And here's the thing. Even if your offense does well, I don't know if your defense can cover up for that because I've seen many times, your defense chokes a lot in the playoffs. All right, anyway, that's all. Subscribe. As always, my name is Michael and I approve this message.